So did anyone download the Postman yesterday and try to practice? Okay, continuing from yesterday's class. So yesterday we have discussed about the ADF. We have discussed about the FBDI flow, and today we'll discuss about the HDL, HCM data loader. So on HCM data loader, so the job of the HCM data loader is we have different tracks in HCM like user creation, worker creation, job definition creation, absence of creation. So in this way, there are multiple tracks, and all the tracks commonly the bulk data gets loaded using HCM data loader. And as a technical consultant, even you do not have any knowledge about HCM, you should know about HCM data loader. The requirements come to the technical consultant for loading the HCM data using HDL. This is a very important topic, but if we understand it is pretty simple. Now, how we load the HCM data. So Oracle provides files which can be downloaded from Fusion. So these DAT files are called as templates in Oracle. And once we download them, we will go to the configurations in UI, and in the configurations, whatever are mandatory, I mean, whatever fields are mandatory in the configuration, we will insert those fields into the HDL file and we will load them into Oracle. So there are two kind of requirements. One is they will just provide, I mean, business user will just provide mandatory fields data in an Excel. And second one is business users will specify you what all columns are mandatorily required from the data they have provided. So if business users have provided you exactly the mandatory columns, everything is well and fine. It's a cakewalk. But if they provide a huge set of data with all the columns in their Excel, then we need to check with the business users and on what all columns are mandatory. And no developer or no technical consultant can load the data using HDL on first shot. It will take around 10 to 15 iterations to successfully load the data using HDL. So most of the HDL templates are complex, and the data we load gets a lot of errors by default from Oracle only, inclusive me. Even I have around 7 to 8 years of experience in Fusion. Even today, if I load the data using HDL, it takes me around 5 to 6 iterations to successfully load the data into Oracle Fusion. So we have got the instance, Fusion instance. Um, you can catch up with Ramu for different usernames, or you can use the current existing username. If there is an outage going on since morning. So once this outage gets closed, you'll get the instance ready to work. I have configured all the security roles for the basic practice by all of you. So you can just get started with the instance. So any questions on the HDL topic till now? Or can I just go forward and discuss on how we load the data? Didn't get you. Fusion is just an upgrade of Oracle applications, and it's been around 7 years since 2017 or 18. Fusion has been introduced in the market, and this is a cloud-based platform, and we do not need any maintenance. DBA job is out of the scope. So there is nothing much to discuss on Fusion evolution. It's not really a new topic. It's just the transformation of on-premise system to cloud-based system. And the difference between Fusion and EBS is that is maintained by the firms. EBS is maintained by the firms. They will have their own DBS, they will have their own infrastructure. Everything is cost-centric and self-centric. Whereas in the Fusion, everything is in Oracle's control. The maintenance is in Oracle's control, infrastructure provision is in Oracle's control. It's just we need to open the UI, I mean, open the web UI and just work on the business data and business logical stuff. There is not much big variance between Fusion and EBS. If someone who knows EBS can easily get coped up with Fusion, and there is no need to feel afraid of, feel terrified of the Fusion either. Are we good with that? Now, moving forward on the HCM data loader in detail, yeah, here I have written a step-by-step process on how to start with the HCM data loader. So in Oracle, we will get the template file. We don't really need to prepare a template file. We'll have a default template file, but which data is mandatory and which is not mandatory, we can find it out by going to the particular UI or particular form page where the mandatory fields are displayed in the UI. So the first job before we start the HDL related job is we need to go to that page. We need to configure one record manually in UI. So why we need to do? If we do that, we will get to know what fields are mandatory and what needs to be configured in our SDL file. So we have the in setup and maintenance, we'll have the different modules using this as a prefix. So whichever HCM data loader topic it is, first if we add manage followed by the HCM data loader topic, you'll get a UI page opened. So in that UI page, you can configure one record of data. So I'll show you how the HDL file looks like. So today in the morning, I was able to download one HDL file for your example. So if you see this file, so if you see this file, this is the file I have downloaded from Oracle Fusion, and here this is called as template. So in the HCM data loader, the first line would always be comment. And if you want to insert a comment into the HDL, it's just that you need to enter a text comment in capital letters in the starting of a line. So this is considered as a comment in HDL language. And the first line comment is not really mandatory. You don't really need to put that in your file always. Here some important things are metadata. So is um, this should always be in capital letters, and any deviation from this, Oracle will errors out your file. Here you will have n number of fields starting from metadata to here requisition number. Till here you have like so many number of fields, but not all of them are mandatory. So in these 8 or 9 in these 20 or 21 fields, only few set of columns are mandatory. I have configured them in a different job data file. See, I have just taken like around 8 fields here. So in these 8 fields, for this particular set of data, the metadata should always be in capital letters, and source system ID should always be a primary key value. Now, even Oracle, to understand that you are transmitting the data related to a job, it needs these code conventions. So for metadata, you will always use merge to insert the data into HDL. And the source system ID will always be a unique value. And without this being unique, your HDL file will fail. So this is how the HDL data can be configured. I thought to show this in Oracle Fusion, but it is currently in maintenance. It just started before 30 minutes. And you can take the instance credentials from Ramo. Are we good till here? Or any questions?
Is there any syntax for this to be written in particular order, or is it uh, any order that or columns?
Any order. Any order, metadata will always be first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who will send this file? What this is the user needs to send or what? We only download this file.
We will only download this file. User will only give his requirement to you with some data in an Excel file or a CSV file. And in that CSV file, you will not have anything. You need to configure that according to your requirement. You will only get
Okay.
data. And he'll tell you what he needs in
Mhm.
the HCM to be loaded with.
Where can we find if issues with in the file while uploading or while comparing?
So you will not compare anything, but from the Excel sheet which user has provided to you, you will configure this HDL data file in this format, and you'll upload it into the import and export um, export file. export related screen in the UI. So here in our Oracle Fusion Springboard, we will have a menu called My Client Groups. So in the My Client Groups, we will have data exchange. In that data exchange, we will be able to import the HDL files for the job submission. So typically, this file creation is itself the only complex activity which we'll be working on HDL process. Are we good?
Yeah. Where can we find the history of the like many of the HDL files? We can do it, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah, where can
So
we
in the
find the
same page,
history?
wherever we are uploading the file, wherever we are uploading the file, that is in the imports and exports. In the same page, we will find all the jobs which we have run. And we also have an option or liberty to delete our old failed runs from Oracle. So as a developer or a technical consultant, a person will load n number of times for success. But it can also be deleted. The old failed files can be deleted, and you can maintain your respect, stating I have done it in one time or two times in that way. That is how consultants manage.
Yes, as for technical consultant, this is the daily job, right?
No, this is not a daily job. This will be a frequent job, but not a daily job. So requirements normally doesn't come every day.
Okay, based on
Like it may come monthly once or
based on the
like
requirement, we'll work
hmm,
on this. Yeah.
yes. And this should always be tracked through an incident or a change. Without them, this data shouldn't be loaded into Oracle because from audit perspective, whenever an audit is conducted with your data in HCM, whatever data we are loading through this will also be audited, and any deviation without having an incident or change, you will get compliance issues, and sometimes even you may get fired.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm sorry, can you explain why exactly we do this process again, please?
It's just data insertion. So now let's say, as I hope everyone are aware of SCM and finance, right? So let's say you want to have some purchase order created. What you would do, you would just go to the PO screen and you would enter the requisition or PO or receipts, right? So why we do that? We do that to have some data inserted and have the visibility to other users. In the same way here also, let's say a new employee has joined the organization. If it is one employee, we can configure it in the UI on web page since it is one record. But on a single day, let's say if there is a walk-in drive and a company has hired 1,000 employees and they have just maintained an Excel sheet instead of entering the data in complex web UIs. Because in web UI, there will be a lot of fields which users need to enter while hiring a new person. Correct? So at that point of time, users will normally load the data into Excel and they will share that Excel with technical consultant. Now, as a technical consultant, we will load that data into HDL, and through HDL, we will load the data into Oracle Fusion. This is a bulk data load process.
Okay, so this is something where we use it only when we have something bulk to load into the Oracle.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a raw data, right? How we validate the data?
Yeah, raw data. We would receive that data in Excel, right? So
Yes, yes.
on the first shot, as I have mentioned, we will always load one record manually from UI. If there are any errors in their data, we'll go to the business user or the delivery managers who will communicate between technical consultant and business user, and we will let them know or ask them with questions stating this is the error we are receiving in your sample record of data we have loaded. So there will be a lot of interactions between users and us if there are any errors in the data they have provided. And one other thing is sometimes even you need to transform the data using ATP database. That also comes in picture. It's not straightforward activity.
Okay, thank you.
And as discussed, yesterday we have discussed about FBDI, right? The FBDI and HDL are always used for bulk data load only. Bulk in the sense here, it's not thousands of records or lakhs of records or crores of records. Even if it is hundreds of record, it comes under bulk load only. And these two activities which we work on are time savers for business users. Any question? Yeah. Moving forward, is my um, font visible to everyone, or should I enlarge it?
Please enlarge it,
Visible,
sir.
sir. Little bit, but you can zoom it. Yes. You can change the font. I think it showing small.
Would this font work?
Now it's good.
Okay. And is this visible? This notepad?
That's showing small. Like.
A little more font size, sir.
Is it good now?
Yeah, now it's good.
Okay. So continuing after HDL, and if the Zoom drops out, please rejoin the call. Security architecture of Fusion. So whenever we start working with Oracle Fusion, as an initial process for a technical consultant, we always need to have the job roles to be configured. It it's not just technical, even for functional consultant also, the job roles needs to be configured. The job roles are, if I compare with Oracle application, it is called profile in application. It is called job roles in Fusion. So job roles act as security roles, which we which controls the access rights to the consultants and business users. Normally, a technical consultant will have the full access to Oracle Fusion. So we have one job role called application implementation consultant and manager. So these two roles, once we provide the access to any consultant, they will have full access on the system. They can modify any data. And for HCM, we need to have human capital management administrator job role to configure HCM. Application implementation consultant is not enough. Now that is about job role. And under the job roles, we will have duty roles. While configuring a job role, we will have a tab where we can configure duty roles. So in the duty roles, we will have some fields where we can enter the different permissions which we provide to users. So let's say we want to provide access limited to access to the payables to a user. So normally when we look at the default Oracle roles, there we will have a payables supervisor, payables manager, payables consultant in this format. Whereas if we give this, user will also be able to have the access to edit the payables data. Now, if we want to give only view only um, access rights to a user, means read only access to the user. In that kind of scenario, we will configure a job role as, let's say, custom API inquiry. In that, we will configure the duty roles and privileges. So in these two configurations, we can give the view only access to the business users instead of permitting him to have a full access to the Oracle Fusion AP, I mean, payables related data. And coming to the data roles, as I have mentioned, so while configuring duty roles, privileges, the next comes the data role. In the data role, we will configure or we will give him the permissions to edit the data from the system. So this is some introduction on the job roles. So I'll discuss on this one when I start with the practical instance training. Any question on job roles?
No, sir.
And these all are important topics for technical consultant. We have directly jumped into discussing the important subject only. Since you are all well aware of applications, I jumped into the subject directly. Okay, moving to next. SSO and identity integration. So in Oracle Fusion, we have two types of login. One is the SSO. SSO would be the company provided. So all the company employees who I mean all the company employees will have the SSO login, and the company employees and the company here I mean the company owns that instance, and the technical consultants or the contractors would have a user created and they will get their access using that user. So in this access scenarios, we have different types of login methods. One is basic authentication, OAuth 2, SAML2, SCIM. So in this way, there are so many login types. So most of the times we will be working on basic authentication, OAuth 2, and logging in using Oracle Identity Cloud Service, which is used to log in into the Oracle Integration Cloud. These are the different login methods which Oracle has provided. And the OAuth 2, which I'm telling you right now, this is very important because this is used across the integrations and Postman and every place wherever we integrate the data. So for example, if I just open the Postman and show you, I'll show you that. Okay. So this is the same REST service which we have taken yesterday. See, okay. And here we have a tab called authorization. In this authorization, we have a field type. So since this is an open REST service which we are using to test in Postman, it is not provided with any authorization and it is an open URL. So we have taken it as no auth. In Oracle, most of the times we will have basic auth. Basic auth is your logging in credentials to the Fusion. And OAuth 2. OAuth 1 was an earlier version which was used in OIC generation 2. But in OIC Gen 3, users are users have upgraded to OAuth 2. And this OAuth 2 is by default configurable in OIC. And the bearer token here, one more thing which we see is when we configure the OAuth 2, IDCS, IDCS is Identity Cloud Service, will generate a token to the users. That token needs to be configured in the bearer token. Is it confusing? Or is it clear? Hello?
Repeat once, sir.
So, as I have mentioned, IDCS, right? To the IDCS is Oracle Identity Cloud Service, which is used to log in OIC. So if we once access to IDCS, we'll get all the access to the different cloud tools which Oracle has provided. So if IDCS is configured using OAuth 2, the IDCS will always generate a token.